Oh boy. Yeah. Words can never say. I love this truth. Can't believe we the chosen. We gonna make it. Just hold on. Yeah.
This little light, I'ma let it shine. Alright. This is the moment I waited for my whole life. Yeah. Just a vessel for his glory. Let it shine. Alright. Father, shine your light on me. Yeah.
Let it shine, thankful for this life, cause it was never mine. Prophecy got me thinking ahead of time. Slaves and 9 yokes singing, swing low, sweet chariot. Through all that oppression, he was there with us. It's like he's sending angels forth, like show them their heritage. Separate the wheat and tares, tell them about their curses so they be aware. Yeah, the spirit in you is priceless. Consider the lilies. They more arrayed than Solomon in all of his glory. Appreciate creation, that's my favorite part of the story. Straighten up your crown, king. Go and tell our people about him. Do work if you able-bodied. This my gift, it ain't a hobby. And it's obvious. Looking at Deuteronomy like, this might be us. And this could be our last shot. It's no better time than right now. Remember in your lifetime, you should let your light shine.
This little light, I'ma let it shine. Alright. This is the moment I waited for my whole life. Yeah. Just a vessel for his glory. Let it shine. Alright. Father, shine your light on me. Yeah.
Words could never say. Tell me what's worse, never attempting to fulfill your calling or shooting at the wrong target even though you put your all in. What if you were given an objective different than what you expected? Project dreams got me thinking about my innocence, wishing that I could begin again. Enter the kingdom as an infant, it was simple then. No backbiting, nobody envying. Just because you not famous don't mean you not the chosen. And it don't make me righteous because I quote a scripture. Keep it solid, the Father's watching, he noticed the difference. Listen, I would never do this for attention. All esteem to the Father, Kahalayim La'aba. Keep it humble, this gift was given, I don't deserve it. The rock, you only want to shine or see some souls converted. A solid brother gon' lift you up when you feel discouraged. Never oppress you. Listen, family, you special. I be like, Father, help me reach him in 60 seconds. I vow to follow Messiah and never look down on my brethren. Stick to your objective no matter how small it is. He gon' judge you by your actions, not by your audience. Somebody close to you might give up if you call it quits. It's obvious, we at the end, they know what time it is. And this could be our last shot. It's no better time than right now. Remember in your lifetime, go on and let your light shine.
Let it shine, alright. This is the moment, yeah. My whole life, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls to me. Me and my brothers. Saturdays, we be out teaching on corners. We be out speaking to corners, hoping to bring a few fish to the Adawan. We We be out teaching in Babylon. A lot of these niggas can't phase us. A lot of these brothers we speaking to wanna bring kingdom to white-again nations. And we just want reparations. And we just wanna see Esau in chains. Half of you niggas saw Django in chain. Half of you niggas saw Toya a slave. Still wanna say the oppressor. This is a cut, keep it a buck. None of my brothers is keeping it shut. Open the book and we bringing them cuts. Every baby we bringing them up. Elevation we teaching them what? The Bible is prophecy, look in the book. The Bible is prophecy, look in the book. We've been in looking at pages. Now we can see that it's talking to me. Now we can see that it's talking to we. Posted up, be bringing water for free. My brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me. They get souls for me. Me and my brothers. 7 days, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on your borders. 7 days, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching them my water straight from the throne. We built the altar with the unhewn stones. Roam through the city, all we see is these bones. So my face like flint till I wake a couple souls. A prophet hated by his own, so the father sent his son to bring the tribes of Jacob home. Jumping through these traps, cause they trying to see us gone. But we walking through the fire just like Daniel and his bros. From every sheep to her zone, we stay inside the book because the book is all we own. Heritage and you better hold it on. We like David fighting giants with no armor and a stone. We face east cause a car home. We face east just to call home. We can't sleep till we all home. We won't rest till they all gone. So I guess that we be calling out they all bones. Bless the seed, invest the deep in the laws of our God. Niggas Elohim, Shema, Warapah, all the Zadikim. Barakatah, Yahweh, and Mashad Nagim. Bless the seed, invest the deep in the laws of our God. Niggas Elohim, Shema, Warapah, all the Zadikim. Barakatah, Yahweh, and Mashad Nagim. From Bereshit to the books in Greek, the dragon took the sheep. Man, the book complete. The father looked for peace, but we shook the beast. Now we up until our power put the hook in cheek. Shema, Yasha Allah, Abanawa, Yahweh, Ahad. He the tower till he give us the power of God. Though in the tower you will never devour our tribe. The Lord despised all you devils, your hours arrive. Bless the seed that kept the peace. Never forgot the poor and he kept the feast. We trying to dodge destruction, they can't stop the sea. Barakatah, Yahweh, and Mashad Nagim. Bless the seed that kept the peace. Never forgot the poor and he kept the feast. Trying to dodge destruction, they can't stop the sea. Barakatah, Yahweh, and Mashad Nagim.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Shalom. All right. Hey, Shalom. All praise to the Most High, man. Pray y'all having a blessed week this week. All right. What you got, Boaz? Shalom, King.
Oh, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom, Israel. Hope y'all doing good today.
Khan, all praise to the Most High, man. Hey, I'm going to actually take my video off once we get started. Just to let y'all know, because I'm on my laptop. My laptop is crazy. The internet connection sucks, right? But it's all good. We're still going to get it in today. What this class is going to be about we shifting Thursday night, right? We shifting Thursday night, and we're gonna start reading through the Torah, man. We're gonna start taking this Torah more serious. We're gonna learn it inside and out. We're gonna be the actual scholars, right? Eventually, we'll start going into the Hebrew behind these words. But right now, what I need y'all to do is hit that like button, share this video, because we're gonna start going deep into this Torah, man. So all praise to the Most High. Hey, let's shout some people out real quick, King.
Kind. Let me go up. Huge shout out to the sister Joan Gilchrist, who's always first in the building. Shalom, sis.
Kind, shalom.
I'm gonna say shalom to myself.
Yeah, that boy's stupid.
Shalom to brother DTA Twan. Shalom to Adawan Kadar, Officer Kadar. Shalom.
God. Shalom.
Anna Raya. Shalom. And House of Nadab. Shalom.
Hey, that's right. Hey, that's right. Shalom, sis.
Shalom Nadab. Right. Shalom to Adawan Yawasap, first officer. Shalom Adawan. Shalom to Adawan. Shalom to Adawan Yakum Yah, just popped up on the scene.
Shalom.
Hey, Adawan, you looking good with that black on. I like that.
God.
All praises.
Yeah, that's right.
See it right here.
Yeah, that's right.
That fire.
Shalom to the Adawan Shemaiah, Officer Shemaiah. Shalom King. Shalom to Jason. Shalom the World Without End. Shalom to Prospect Araya. Shalom to John Allen. And Shalom to Sky Anderson. And I'm sure the brother Nadiyab is on the scene with her. Shalom King.
Hey,
and
that's right.
That comes into the building. After this, we give a hearty shalom to all of y'all as well.
And shalom to the kids too, man. You know,
Shalom
to the kids. Right? So, I'm gonna praise it. Hey, look. I'm gonna let Adawan Yakum Yah say shalom to the people real quick. I gotta get something together real quick on the side. Hey, Captain Judah, shalom, King, shalom, all praises. What's going on?
Shalom. Hey, I gotta give Captain Judah the props. He brought this black and gold out, and I'm loving it. So shalom there, Judah.
Yeah, I'm waiting on mines.
Hey,
you keep waiting.
Listen, Captain Judah, he doing t-shirts for everybody now. He's selling them, right?
Yeah, I believe he got it open to the brothers, man. So hit that brother up, man. You know, we ain't being stingy. We just trying to make sure North Carolina look good. That's all that.
That's right. That's right. All praise.
Right.
He sent it via USPS from 1900 when they used to walk and deliver the mail.
Right. at a carriage.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that guy. He gonna walk up from had a long journey from South.
He'll be smoking one of them long pipes, you know what I'm saying? A little, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Passing through Tennessee.
Hey, look, I want to say this, right? I'm happy that people had a blessed week, man. You know, we have been missing our Thursday nights. Last Thursday we was able to get on, but a couple of Thursdays before that, man, was just a lot of stuff going on. All praise to the Most High. We back up in here. Like Shaquat would say, we up in this thing, right? I want to pull out a precept real quick, just in the spirit of what we're trying to do on Thursdays from now on. So when you join on Thursdays, what we're gonna have is we're gonna have a reading assignment for every Thursday. Brothers and sisters throughout the week, read that assignment. Right? Read that assignment before you come to the class on Thursday. And then by the time we join the discussion on Thursday, any questions that you have, you already got them written down, right? We can go into them, whatever like that. So that's how we're going to do it. Tonight is going to be kind of an overview of the Torah itself. We're going to talk about the whole Torah. We're going to break down maybe some literary things that you may not have seen. I got this from a source, which I will not disclose at this current moment. But it was a good source, man. I got this information from a good source, and we'll go into that. And then each week we're gonna break up the Torah. We're gonna read a couple of chapters each week, break it down. You know what I'm saying? And we're not gonna do that the whole class. That'll just be a portion of the class. And the second half will be maybe a question and answer or something like that, right? So Most High, man.
All praise.
And to say before we bring this precept out and get started,
I would like to add to it that this will be a very good thing for all of us on this call to go through the Torah, because that's the basis of understanding the entire Bible. If you don't have the Torah nor the understanding, that's where a lot of Christians are off right now. We trying to get everybody acclimated to really getting into the Torah and understanding it, and we're gonna be bringing other things, other scholarly type classes. I asked Captain Jonathan if I could join his class and actually do that. So we're gonna look forward to doing this, and I'm excited about doing the Torah. It's needed within Israel. So get your pens and pads and be ready to learn this Torah.
Hey, that's right. And I will say this, hey, Officer Shemaiah said it right, man. He said the milk. And I'm gonna say this: some of the stuff in the Torah is not milk, as we're gonna see. Starting when we start going through Genesis, that's not milk at all. You know what I mean? You think you could just pick this Bible up and start reading Genesis? Go ahead and see how much you know. Right?
That's right.
Starting in chapter 1, 2, and 3, you don't know what's going on. Right? So it's like we gotta take this thing serious, man. We're gonna boast ourselves in the law. Hey, shout out to that brother Ariel, Ben Ephraim. All right, all praise to the Most High. Hey, let's get Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8 to start it off.
Let's get it.
God, you want me to get it, boys? I get it.
Got it. If you got it, Adawan.
Khan, this is Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy ways prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Okay, and then the next one, let's get John 14 and 15. And then I'm gonna ask the people a question, and we're gonna get started. Y'all get ready to type in the chat. Go ahead and get ready. As soon as he done, 14 and 15. As soon as he get done reading this precept, y'all get ready to type your answer into the chat, because I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Go ahead.
There's the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
That's right. All praises. So guess what? The book of Joshua tells us that we're supposed to meditate in this law day and night. And it's not supposed to depart from out of our mouth. And then Hamashiach Yahushua told us if we love him, that we are to keep these commandments, these same commandments. So this is what I want to ask everybody. Who has read through the whole Torah, word for word? In your King James Bible, who has read through the whole Torah, word for word? That's a part of the project that we're going to be doing this year. We're reading through the whole Torah. We're going to divide the Torah up in 52 weeks. And every week, we're going to hit you with a Torah reading. All right? So we're going to get through this whole thing. But I want to know who has already read through the whole Torah. Y'all put a 7 in the chat, or just say, you know what I'm saying? Put a book emoji in the chat if you read through the whole Torah.
Yeah, drop a book emoji. That's nice right there.
Yeah, that's nice. Drop that book emoji. I'm gonna have to do that.
Hey, all praise to the Most High. Brother said I did one read up. That's right. All praises. Shemaiah said I have. Okay. Let's let a couple more people get that answer out, and then we're gonna start talking about it. While we waiting on that answer to come out, I want to say this. When you read a book, right? A lot of the times you can read something. Oh, okay. Let me start here. We're taught to teach the Bible in a specific way, right? And to read the Bible in a specific way and to understand it in a specific way, right? We need to understand the Bible precept upon precept, which means that generally you will not find yourself just reading chapter by chapter by chapter all the way through a book. It's important to do this at times when you're reading your Bible, because this is going to give you the context of the story around what's going on. This is going to give you a historical narrative, and also it's going to give you a larger perspective of the bigger themes that are shown throughout the story. For instance, when you watch a movie straight all the way through, you can call out the themes of that movie. But if somebody was to just show you snapshots of the movie, you wouldn't know the theme of the movie, but you would be very familiar with the snapshots. Right? So this is how the Bible is. Although it's very important for us to understand the snapshots, the precepts, and that's how we are to teach and to understand the Bible. We still need to go back and read it all the way through so that we can see the themes and we can see the nuances that are hidden in the scripture. Right? Look, here go the people. Here go the people, right? So DTA Twine got a book up there. Adonai Yakum Yah, John Allen, Ariel, right? Brother Shemaiah got a couple of books. That brother over righteous, right? Be like Ants got one. All right. So hey, all praise to the Most High. And this is a part of what I tell my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you have to read through the Torah. Like, don't be trying to get all deep and break down Revelation just yet. Read through the Torah, understand what you see there, right? And then as you add to your studies, now start adding in Psalms and Proverbs. And now you're going to understand the references that they're making. Then start digging into them prophecies, breaking them prophecies down. But first, we got to start with that foundation, that milk, like Adonai was saying before. Okay? So we're going to talk about the structure of the Torah. And let me go ahead and get started with this. Y'all jump in there whenever you need to. Do not feel like I'm not trying to bogart it. Just jump in there when you got to.
Right. Slacky, Adonai.
Go ahead.
Just real quick, just to add on to what you're saying, because a lot of the churches or Christian community, they like to use Paul. And one thing a brother said to me that I thought was smooth, and you knew, it was like Israelite verbiage. You know what I'm saying? Israelite slang. He said to understand Paul, you need to know the law.
Correct.
So it's like if you don't have no understanding of the law, you can't go into Paul's writings and his letters and go into breaking it down like you know what Paul's talking about. But I yield.
Now, you know what? That's right. Look, the law is elementary school. Psalms, Proverbs, and the books like that, Sirach, that's middle school, high school, right? You get to the New Testament, now you in trade school. You learning how to walk it out. You watching people walk it out.
Right.
But by the time you get to Paul, this is graduate courses at this point. Because Paul taking everything and putting it together and rolling it up into application, and he doing stuff that look like he shouldn't be doing and saying stuff that look like he shouldn't be saying, but you just got to be on his level to understand.
Right.
That's right.
So that's why you have to have a systematic way of learning your Bible. And I was going to pull this precept out, right? I wasn't even going to get no more precepts, but that was excellent that you said that. Let's get Nehemiah 8:8, right? We bring this out every once in a while.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 8. So they read in the book in the law of Yahweh distinctly, and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading.
And that's what we're going to do, right? We're going to cause you to understand the reading. The sister Joanne Gilchrist said, I read it, but I didn't understand a lot of it. And that's what these Torah portions is going to be for. So and I want to say this as a disclaimer, we're not going to use the Ishman's division of Torah portions. We're going to do our own division, right? We're going to break it up into a way that makes sense to us. But they have a system behind their Torah portions as well. Like if you look at their Torah portions, when the Day of Atonement come around, they read in the Day of Atonement scriptures. And then when Passover come, they read in the Passover scriptures. So we will flex and do that as well to make sure we lining up with the feast days that's near. But we're going to stay on our own schedule. So you can't use the small hats version of the Torah portion because we're not following that.
That's right.
All right. Con, go ahead.
I got one precept because you said something very important, and Boaz said something important about the stages of understanding. In the book of Romans, Paul actually gives you a clue on who he's speaking to And I want to read that in Romans 7:1.
I got you out of one.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
That's right.
How that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth. So think about what he's saying. You to even understand him, he's letting you know that he's speaking to them that know the law, right? And that law is here to remain forever. So if you coming into this not knowing the milk, as Shemaiah said, as you said, Captain Jonathan and Boaz, if you're not knowing the milk, how can you really understand what Paul is saying? It's going to be confusing to you.
That's right.
So take this class and take your notes. It's going to be good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, all right, y'all, let's jump into it, right? So it's a couple of definitions and concepts that we got to go over first as we understand literature in general. Okay. So first off, you got terminology. So the Pentateuch is another name for the Torah. That's the Greek terminology for the first 5 books, right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. It's called the Pentateuch because it's the 5 books. All right. Let's keep going. Then you got the word Torah. The word Torah is a Hebrew word, and it means law, instruction, teachings, and it's also another name for the 5 books. So sometimes you'll hear people say the Torah, and they're talking about Genesis through Deuteronomy. But sometimes people will say the law just in general because there are laws found outside of the 5 books. And we can deal with that as well, right? Then you have the term Tanakh. Now, the word Tanakh is not a Hebrew word. The word Tanakh is a, what's it called? It's an acronym. Okay. The T, the N, and the K. And this is the canon of the Hebrew scripture. It includes the Torah, which is the first 5 books, the Nevi'im, which is the prophets, and the Ketuvim, which is the writings. Okay. And the word Tanakh is an acronym for those 3 parts. The law, the prophets, and the writings. So sometimes you'll hear people say the Tanakh. Adawan Yakum Yah got a stone edition Tanakh. And in that book, it contains basically what you would call the Old Testament. And it's in a different order than you would read in your King James Bible. Right? The covenants, right? The agreement that governs the relationship between the Most High and people. So sometimes these covenants are between the Most High and Adam. Sometimes these covenants are between the Most High and Noah, Most High and David, Most High and Phineas. Y'all put it in the chat if y'all know who Phineas is. Y'all put it in the chat if y'all know who Phineas is, right? That's in the Torah, and we will be going over that later. But the Most High makes covenants with multiple people, individuals, but then he also makes covenants with nations, right? So these are concepts and definitions that are all throughout the Bible. You got a genre. What is a genre of literary writing? You can have poetry, but then you can also have narrative. Poetry and narrative cannot be read the same way, right? I can't read a poem and think that chapter 1 comes before chapter 3 in the poem. It don't always work like that. But in narrative, it generally does work like that until the context changes. A great example of that is Exodus chapter 1 or Genesis chapter 1 versus Genesis chapter 2. The context is totally different. So Genesis chapter 1 and 2 are not necessarily in the same story. It's basically it's a different context. As you get into chapter 2, the context changes and he tells the story a little bit in a way to magnify certain points, right? And all of this stuff will make more sense as we have these classes, but I'm just hitting these points real quick. Then you got what they call Toledot in the Hebrew scriptures. These are genealogies. Genealogies are very, very important because genealogies set the foundation and the background for the story they're about to tell. So when you get to the story of Abraham, he tells the generations of Abraham, right? When you get to the story of Noah, he tells the generations of Noah, and then he hits you with the Table of Nations, right? And then later on, you start reading about all these people. But if you skipped over that generation or that Toledot, if you skipped over that, you don't know what's going on. You don't know who these people are or why it's important, right? So every single thing you read is important. All right. Then you have parallelisms. Parallelism is where you read something and it mirrors something else, or it points to something else, or it represents something else. One of the technical words for that is typology. Typology is, for instance, Joshua. We read a book from Joshua. Well, Joshua was the guy who took over after Moses. And Joshua's name is very closely related to Yahushua's name. And he represents Yahushua. So he's a type of Yahushua, typology, right? So these are all, there you go. Kadar Haran said, the grandson of Aaron, right? If y'all don't know who Phineas is, go back and read that. I believe that's in Numbers chapter 25, right? The Most High made an everlasting covenant with Phineas. So go look that up. All right. But yeah, so typology, it's a different component of literary style, right? All of these things matter, and they are very important. And you may miss it if you're just getting precepts. If you're not reading the story, you might miss it. Right? Let's keep going. Oh, Salaki. Hit the wrong button. All right. Literary pace. How fast or slow is the story moving for the reader? So, for instance, Genesis chapter 1 is moving very fast. In the beginning, he created light, right? Then about 8 verses later, he's on day 5 or day 6, right? So as you start reading verses, the time is moving very fast. But you could be in a whole different chapter, and 12 verses, 30 verses, 40 verses, a whole chapter could all be happening in a couple of minutes. So how fast the author is moving through the story tells you what's important, because when he slows down, he's telling you something important is happening at this part. Right? Let me give y'all an example of that. Let's get Genesis chapter 10 real quick. Genesis chapter 10.
Just 10 and 1?
Yeah, you can start at verse 1.
And it's the book of Genesis chapter 10 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood.
Now, this is the Toledot of Noah, right? This is the generations or the genealogy of the sons of Noah. Now, as it goes into these next couple of verses, time is going to move very fast. He's going to start jumping down the whole genealogy really fast. But it takes lifetimes for these people to be born, right? Think about that. He's telling the story very, very, very fast. And then when we get to chapter 11 in verse 1, it slows down at a particular point in history to tell a story. So whatever this story is about is very important. Do you understand what I'm saying? So literary pace and movies do the same thing, right? A movie might, like Kill Bill. Kill Bill is one of my favorite movies, right? I love Tarantino. So Kill Bill will start off with the bride, right? It's a very slow story. It is the guy's walking up to her. He get ready to shoot her. He shoots her in the head. He wipes her blood off and he walks away, right? It slows down to tell you that. But then after that, it fast forwards through her life to catch you up on what happened up until that point. And then it slows down again, right? So authors have been doing this and movie makers have been doing this for a long time to get their point across. So when you're reading a story in the Bible, you wouldn't catch this with precepts. You would only catch this if you was reading it straight through. Right? Let's keep going. All right. The climax. When you read in the story straight through, you can also understand where the climax is. This is the point of which the highest level of interest and tension and emotional response is achieved. So a story is built up unto a certain point, and then it hits a climax, and it's like, oh snap. You know what I mean? It's like it's the main point. So when we read in the story of Christ in the Gospels, right? His story moves very fast. Literary pace is very fast from the time, it's talking about Mary. It just speeds past the first couple of years of his life, and then it slows down to tell us about the temptation in the wilderness, right? It slows down to tell us that. But then the story builds up, and he becomes this great teacher. He's healing people, and then there's a climax. What is the climax? People want to kill him. People plotting to kill him. So then now you read in the story, if this is your very first time reading the story and you're not familiar with the story of Mashiach Yahushua, you reading it and you like, dang, like what's going to happen? How you going to get out of this? Right? Then he ends up dying and then he comes back. Right? So that's how the story is being told, and it's written that way for a reason. So we got to pay attention to the climax of the story and pay attention to what they chose to tell and when they chose to tell it. All right. All of this is going to make more sense in a little bit. So now let's talk about the structure of the actual Torah itself. The main genre of the Torah is at the top of the screen, but it's historical narrative. That's the main genre. At times, the story will change or the genre will change. And when the genre changes, we need to pay attention. I'm gonna make this make sense. Let's say you watching a movie that's all black and white, and then one scene is in color. Who on here has seen the TV show Them? Yo, to me, that was one of the best TV shows in a long time. Very good TV show. Y'all need to go watch that, right? But y'all put it in the chat. Have y'all seen Them? And Adawan Yakum, y'all, did you get to episode 10?
I watched the whole thing.
Whole thing. Okay. What was special about episode 10? What was special about the episode when we found out what all was happening? What did they do in that episode that made it stick out from the other episodes?
It almost seemed like they was finding out that one of the lead star was the person. They swapped places to me.
Okay. But then also episode 10 was the only episode that was in black and white.
Oh yeah. That's right.
So the whole TV show is it's a regular TV show, and you watching it and you like strange stuff going on, you just don't get it. Episode 10 comes and the whole episode is in black and white. You know why they did that? They did that because we breaking this pattern to tell your brain something important is about to happen. Well, the Bible does this. The Bible is in narrative, is in historical. Yeah, that show was very raw. That's one of my favorite shows. But the Bible is in historical narrative. It's a history book about a particular group of people. And at times, it will break away from being a history book to have a poem or a song just out of nowhere. If you read it in the Hebrew, if you see it in the actual Hebrew manuscript, it's crazy because the way the words are on the page is even different. So it forces you to be like, something is different, right? So this is Genesis, this purple bar at the top, right? I'm gonna make this point, and then we're gonna do what we're gonna do. Also, I want to get into Revelation chapter 14 today, so y'all stick around. We're gonna talk about Revelation chapter 14 and the virgins in Revelation chapter 14 and verse 3. All right, we're gonna break that down today. All right, but this bar right here is the Torah. Let's imagine this purple bar as the Torah, right? So the beginning of this bar is Genesis. Then in the middle, you got Mount Sinai, right? Or the climax is Mount Sinai. And then the end is Deuteronomy. So if we was to put the Torah, and like I said, I got a source on this information. So it's a really good source. If you want that source, we could talk outside of this class, right? Because I can't get out of the way to everybody, you know what I mean? But all praise to the Most High. But so Genesis, Mount Sinai is the climax, I would say, and then Deuteronomy, right? That's the end of it. Now let's take a look at it. Everything from Genesis leading Sinai is pointing to the people finally getting to meet the Most High and finally getting to be in covenant with the Most High. And everything in Deuteronomy and backwards is pointing back to Sinai and saying, yo, remember what I did for you and remember what I told you. So it seems if we just use the literary structure alone, the most important part of the Torah is Mount Sinai when the Most High God gave his people the law, statutes, and commandments. And it make perfect sense because if you read the whole Bible, what are they all pointing you back to? Mount Sinai. They're all pointing you back to that law, statute, and commandment that the Most High God gave his people. Right? Let's keep going. So you got poetic sections in the Torah. There's 4 major poetic sections. Genesis chapter 49 is one of them. And that's where Jacob gives out his blessings. This is not written in the same narrative structure that the rest of the Torah is written in. In fact, if you read Genesis chapter 49 in the Hebrew, right, it says, and Jacob called his sons and said unto them, gather yourselves together that I may tell them, that I may tell thee what shall befall thee in the last days. If you read through this, it's poetry, the way he's saying stuff, right? So he's breaking it down in a certain way, but he's saying stuff in a poetic language, right? Let me jump down to verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. Like it's on some high level prophecy type stuff, right?
Right.
That's the way Jacob is speaking to his sons. It's not in regular everyday language like you would read in the story of Abraham or something like that, right? But let's keep going. Exodus chapter 15 is another poetic section, and this is the Song of Moses. This is right after the Passover. So you got Genesis 49, then you got Exodus 15. You got 2 poetic sections before Mount Sinai. Y'all guess where the other 2 poetic sections are at? Just guess. Numbers 23 through 24 is the blessing from Balaam. Right? Balaam is a man who can hear from the Most High God, but he's not of Israel. And he can only speak blessings on the children of Israel. And he prophesies about the children of Israel. And he actually has a messianic prophecy too about Hamashiach Yahushua. And this is right after Mount Sinai. And then the last one is Deuteronomy 32 through 33. And it's another song and blessing from Moses. And if you just look at the structure of where these poetic sections are, they're surrounding Mount Sinai once again. So even the structure of the Torah itself is a beautiful thing. Like these we don't give our ancestors enough credit, right? We don't give our ancestors enough credit. Our ancestors were geniuses. The way they wrote stuff down, man, it was no accidental words in none of these pages. Right? Yahweh said, what about Deuteronomy chapter 6? Let's take a look at it. Deuteronomy, oh, you're talking about the Shema. Right. You're talking about the Shema, right? And that right there is maybe one of the most important chapters of the Bible. But just as far as the poetic sections, from what I've researched, they didn't list this off as a poetic section. But what I will do to do my diligent research is I will go back and double check to make sure Deuteronomy chapter 6, because if Deuteronomy chapter 6 is in there, then I need to add that to the slide. So all praises. Okay, let's keep going. So everything's pointing to Mount Sinai. And once again, to me, that makes perfect sense. Let's keep going. Now, maybe we reaching. Maybe these poetic sections are not connected in no type of way. Right? Maybe I'm reaching. Let's take a look. Genesis chapter 49. Somebody get Genesis chapter 49, verse 1 real quick.
I got it. This is Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Now, the terminology in the last days in the Hebrew is Be'arit Hayamim, right? And that means in the last days. So number one thing we learn about Genesis 49 is this is an end time prophecy. That's number one. Number two, if you jump down to Genesis 49 and verse 8, he mentions somebody's hand being in the neck of their enemies. And this is in reference to Judah, right? Go ahead. You can read that.
This is Genesis 49 and verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Hey, so that can be applied to the Messiah. We know that can also be applied to David, Hezekiah, some things like that. But ultimately, this can be applied to the Messiah because everybody's going to bow down to the Messiah and his hand going to be in the neck of his enemies. Right? Verse 9 talks about a lion. Once again, another messianic prophecy. And in verse 10 talks about a scepter and rulership, which is another messianic prophecy. So we got a couple of things in Genesis 49. We got end time prophecy talking about the Messiah. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see if these passages are connected. And this is the Genesis 49 and 1, which is what I was saying. If you look at it, right, Be'ari Hayamim is in the last days. That's all that means in the Hebrew. Right, it's right there. All right. So Exodus chapter 15. The destruction of the enemies, verses 1 through 10 is all about the destruction of the enemies. Save the people by his hand. Verse number 12. Another verse about salvation. Verse 15 lists off the enemies: Edom, Moab, and Canaan. And then when you get into Miriam's song, she echoes a lot of the stuff that Moses said in his song. So we talk about salvation, the destruction of the enemies, right? And the redemption of the people. Well, guess what? The Messiah came to redeem the people. And he's also going to be the one in the last days who's going to have his hand in the neck of the enemies. Okay, so I see a connection. Let's keep going. Numbers chapter 23 and 24. Balaam blesses Israel. He mentions a king in verse 7. We know that this king is the Messianic king. Let's read it. Let's get Numbers 23 and 7. Numbers 23 and 7.
This is Numbers chapter 23 and verse 7.
Actually, that's not what I want. My fault. It's 24 and 7. My fault.
This is Numbers chapter 24 and verse 7. He shall pour the water out of his bucket, and his seed shall be in many waters, and his king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted.
So Balaam is prophesying about the children of Israel, that the king that comes from Jacob is going to be higher than the king of the Amalekites. Right? We can apply this to the Messianic prophecies. Right? God will destroy his enemies in verse 8. God brought him forth out of Egypt. He have, as it were, the strength of a unicorn. He shall eat up the nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows. Hamashiach Yahushua, Messianic prophecy. So as we see, each one of these poetic sections in the Torah are all connected. So you mean to tell me this story, it was telling you a smooth story throughout the Torah. It was telling you a historical narrative and bringing you through a smooth story. And then it just stopped every once in a while. Hey, yo, it's gonna be a Messianic king one day. He gonna kill his enemies. And then it told you the story some more. Hey, don't forget, it's gonna be a Messianic king one day. He gonna kill his enemies. And then it told you the story some more. Oh, hey, and don't forget, it's gonna be a Messianic king one day. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's certain things that the Torah is trying to point out to you that if we don't read it straight through, we will miss it. Right? Let's keep going. And then in verse 9, you see the lion imagery one more time. Let me read that one too. Matter of fact, can you read that one real quick, Adawan? It's Numbers 24 and verse 9.
Con, this is Numbers 24 and verse 9. He couched, he lay down as a lion, and as a great lion. Who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blesseth thee, and cursed is he that curses thee.
Hey, when the last time you heard that? He couched, he laid down as a lion. Last time you read that was in Genesis 49.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm showing you that there's a definite connection here. This is not a reach. Let's keep going. Hey, that's right. There you go. See, Judah said it exactly as I was saying it. The lion imagery was in verse 9 of Genesis 49 as well. Exactly. Now, let's see one more. Right? Deuteronomy 32. It mentions the enemies. It mentions vengeance. And it mentions the Most High avenging his servants Israel. It mentions the enemies again in verse 7. Bring him unto his people. Right? So once again, all of these concepts are connected and they're found in each one of these poetic sections throughout the Torah. Right? So we got to keep giving our ancestors credit, man. It was geniuses. The Most High was moving them in the spirit. And the Most High not only gave you words that you can read, but he gave you words that you can dig into for years and years and years of research. And you'll never get to the bottom of the mysteries that he got in here.
Salaki.
Khan, go ahead.
And one other thing to add to what you just said, our ancestors gave you key words that connects to another prophet or someone else that's speaking about the same thing. So key words are very key, and usually they're metaphoric or allegoric type words that explains a situation.
That's right.
And that keeps the whole book flowing fluidlessly.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Because it's like the themes are just weaved into each passage. Like if you think about it, for somebody to just sit around and make the Bible up, if the Most High was not doing this, somebody got to be a genius.
Right.
I'm talking about super genius. You know what I mean? Like to make this book up, bro, like with the breakdowns that brothers can come up with and the understandings brothers can learn from, like, bro, you either God made the book or a genius made, or a super genius made the book. That's it. Those are the only options, right? Now I want to show you something else real quick before I hit this next point and be done with this part. Give me Zechariah 9:9 real quick.
You got it, boy.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 9. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding on an ass, and upon a colt, the foal of an ass.
Now, I want to read that to show you the Messianic king in prophecy. He's coming with salvation. What is salvation? The destruction of your enemies. Right? Psalms chapter 2. Once again, it lists off the enemies. It talks about a king, right? Kiss the son, right? And the destruction of the enemies. Hosea chapter 3 and verse 4 is a king in the latter days. These are all of these verses I'm bringing up to you are messianic prophecies. And what I'm trying to point out to you is that these are all the things that are reoccurring throughout the Torah before Hamashiach Yahushua was even thought of by the people on earth. This is why the scripture says that he comes in the volume of the book.
That's right.
Because there's reoccurring themes that point to him, right? And typological occurrences that point to him all throughout the scripture. It's a messianic king coming who's going to destroy the enemies and he's going to bring salvation. This is why Peter and them was like, are you going to now restore the kingdom to Jerusalem? right? Because they understood what the Torah was teaching about the Messiah. Now let's keep watching. Now, the reason we got to bring this out is because our Christian brothers and sisters think Christ came to give everybody handshakes and lollipops. So we have to teach that the foundation of who he was before he even stepped foot on this earth, it was already laid out for him that he was not going to be about handshakes and lollipops. So if he comes on earth and he's about handshakes and lollipops, it ain't him. So the Christ that the Christian church is teaching is antithetical to the Christ of the Bible. Right? Let's keep going. I want to show you something. This right here is the word Yeshua. Right? This is the Hebrew word for salvation. You know how you ever heard that Christian song, Salvation is his name? Because salvation is actually his name. Right? Like his actual name in Hebrew means salvation. So if you look at it, this is the word Yeshua. We would pronounce this Yahawashi, which is a derivative of his name. There's a derivative of his name where it's actually pronounced Yahushua in the, if you're reading it with the vowel points and all that, it would be Yahushua, which is where we get Yahawashi. But this is the same word. It just doesn't have that letter H in between the Y, right? But if you look at it, I want y'all to look on the right-hand side. Where is the word Yeshua found throughout the Torah? And I'm going to answer that question. That's a good question. World without end. That's a good question. Y'all look at that on the right-hand side. Do you see where the word Yeshua is found in the Torah? In all the places that I was just telling you was already pointing to Yahawashi. Genesis chapter 49, Exodus chapter 15, and Deuteronomy chapter 32. So once again, this is not a reach. The Bible was already pointing you to that. But because we don't read it as a large story and look at it like a movie, we kind of study it with precepts and then we'll read a chapter here and there, but we won't really read through the whole story. We miss big themes like this and big markers that are pointing directly to Hamashiach Yahawashi. See that? That's 3 of the 4 poetic sections that I pointed out earlier. Right here. And this is a screenshot from Bible. I didn't put that together. Right? And the word Yeshua is in each one of those verses. All right. So that's all I'm gonna hit you with on that. Let me turn that off. We're not going into Genesis today. Hold on. So I can. That's all we're gonna talk about as far as the structure of the Torah. Now, what we're gonna do is every week at the end of this class, I'm gonna drop a couple of passages. And we're going to read those chapters in preparation for next Thursday. And then on Thursday, we're going to come on. We're going to read those chapters. We're going to talk about them. We're not going to do no deep breakdown. So, for instance, when we hit Genesis 1 and 2, the Genesis 1 and 2 breakdown is a separate class. But we will read it and answer basic questions and give you precepts. So, when you read that Adam is naked, we'll give you the precept and the understanding of what that means. When you see that there was a snake talking to him, we'll give you the precept and understanding. But a separate full breakdown of Genesis chapter 1, that's a 3-hour class.
Right.
That's a 3-hour class all day. Right. But let's answer this brother's question, man. That's an excellent question. He said, why do we pronounce it Yahawashi? Oh, I'm about to pull up the Hebrew word. I'm not going to be able to show it on my screen because I don't have it prepared.
What about nah, it wouldn't be in there.
What did he say?
I was thinking about that website we would use, like it's like the Hebrew Old Testament or something like that.
Okay, I found it. So it's Strong's number 3091. Right? Let me see if I can pull that up. My computer be acting real stupid, so hold on.
Yep. HebrewOldTestament.com. The water out of wine.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something about HebrewOldTestament.com. Not saying don't use it, but I will say this: HebrewOldTestament.com is a backwards translation into the Paleo Hebrew. What do I mean by that? They took the biblical Hebrew text and they transcribed it into what you call the Lashawan Kodash. So there is no, and I've said this before, but there is no manuscript of a complete Paleo Hebrew Bible manuscript. So the only way they got those words in Paleo Hebrew is they translated it from the Hebrew into the Paleo Hebrew. That's the only reason I don't lean on Hebrew Old Testament.
You're going in and out, Jonathan, like you're in the Matrix. We can't hear you.
But you're definitely welcome to use it. It's still a reliable source. It's a, now let me see if I can go ahead.
You was in the Matrix. Can't hear him. Can you hear him, Boaz?
I can see him moving in the background on his other screen, but I think his connection is acting up.
Yeah, what he's bringing out right now is pretty crucial to have this background, a little background of this, so that you'll know how to read the Torah and get a basic understanding. I look at the Torah not only as the milk, but it's the foundation for all your understanding. That's why Paul says, I speak to them that know the law, going back to the Torah. He's speaking to them.
All right, Salakia, can you hear me now?
Yeah. You good now?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to share that screen, but let me answer the brother's question, and then we're gonna get into this Revelation 14. Did y'all hear what I was saying about Hebrew Old Testament?
Yeah, you said that basically it was a backwards translation from the language that they took it from into the Paleo Hebrew, and there's no direct translation from the Paleo Hebrew that we have.
Right, correct. And there are no existing manuscripts of the entire Old Testament in Paleo Hebrew. So the only way they could get it into Paleo Hebrew was to take it from the biblical Hebrew and to make it Paleo Hebrew. Okay. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's H3091. If you look at that word, that's where we get Yahweh Shai from. So if you just look at it and read the letters, Yahweh Shai, right? That's where we get it from. And that's another derivative of the word Joshua, or the name Joshua, which we know Yahweh Shai's name was very close to Joshua's name. The only reason his name is Jesus in the Greek is because in Greek, to denote a masculine name, they put an S on the end, and then they changed the yod sound, the y sound at the beginning to a J in the 1600s or whenever that was, when they created the letter J. So that's where we get the word Jesus from, even though it should be Yehoshua or something like that, Yahweh Shai, something like that. All right, all praises. Hey, let's get into this Revelation 14, man. Let's get into it. I'm gonna let Boaz ask his question that he had brought up earlier.
All right. So the question, matter of fact, let me go to it so I can make sure, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to word it wrong or anything. But the question was, in Revelation chapter 14, verses 3 and verse 4, where it's talking about the 144,000 and about them not being defiled with women and saying that they are virgins. The question I had is it actually talking about them being virgins, being with no women, or could it also be talking about doctrine, or is it like a twofold kind of thing? You know what I'm saying? Where it's talking about both.
Khan. Okay, so let's
read
read it. Yeah, let's read it. Revelation 14:1.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 14 and verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb.
God. So that right there, and y'all let me know if I'm clear, because I got a little skipping going on my side. But
you good.
Okay, all praises. So what we see now, first of all, I want to point out that notice that they're singing a song.
Mm-hmm.
What did we just read about with Moses in Exodus and in Deuteronomy? Moses made a song, right? So it's very interesting that here in Revelation, and we learn later that the song they're singing in the book of Revelation is the song of Moses and the Lamb. Very interesting, because Moses was talking about the Lamb in the Torah. So anyway, but that's a connection that we'll talk about later, right? But anyway, so right here, I would say, and I'm going to give you a breakdown for it. I would say that this is not speaking about men that have sex with women. Number one, the word defiled. Somebody give me Hebrews 13:4. Will a person become defiled if they have sex with their wife?
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, Yahweh will judge.
Right. So I believe that the wedding bed is undefiled. Right. So this cannot be referring to married men, but a married man who has sex with his wife would not be considered a virgin. So for these reasons, I'm already leaning towards, before I give you the rest of the reasons, I'm already leaning towards this cannot be talking about regular sex. Right? Let's get Sirach 25:1. And we also know that the people in this passage are identified as the 144,000. And they were redeemed from the earth, meaning that they were regular men. They were humans. These are not, the way the Mormons want to tell you, or the way the Christians want to tell you, like some angelic men who they wasn't like everybody else or some weird stuff. No, these is regular men who was redeemed from the earth. Right? Go ahead.
Khan, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 1. In three things I was beautified and stood up beautiful both before Yahweh and men: the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together.
Hey, the Most High considers this a beautiful thing. So for a man and woman to come together, the Most High would never call that undefiled, or he would never call that defiled, right? So I'm leaning towards this has nothing to do with physical sex. Now, let me give you the breakdown on what it would have to be if it's not physical sex. So, throughout the scriptures, wisdom is spoken of as a woman. As we was talking about earlier, you got themes that carry out throughout scripture. Revelation is filled with a speaker talking about themes that you got to study before you get to Revelation. So the theme that's being spoken about now is the strange woman. Somebody get Proverbs 2:16. The other brother get Proverbs 5:3.
Get Proverbs 5:3.
And what does that strange woman represent, right? We're going to talk about this.
Khan, this is Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 16. To deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
Okay, let's get Proverbs 5:3.
Khan, it's the book of Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil.
Hey, the words of a strange woman. Now, we haven't broken down what this strange woman represents just yet, but the words of a strange woman is sweet and it's smooth, right? It's something that you would love to go after, but it's still a strange woman. Let's get Proverbs 6:24. And then both Adawan, if you can grab Proverbs 1:20.
And it's the book of Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 24. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
Now, so the strange woman is mentioned multiple times. Now, if there's a strange woman, maybe there's a woman who's not strange. Who is the woman that the Most High wants you to chase after? Y'all put that in the chat. Who is the woman in the scripture that the Most High wants you to chase after? Because we already see he don't want you dealing with the strange woman. This is a theme all throughout the scriptures. Right? We're going to give him a couple seconds, and then I'm going to let Adawan read it. I gave it away because I already called it.
Right.
Right?
Adawan, they would have went on ahead and jumped into the book ahead and started reading.
Right. You see what I'm saying? Brother's got an open book test going on, man. All right, there we go. Shemaiah said wisdom. Right? So wisdom is personified. Wisdom is spoken of as if it's a actual woman in the scripture. And this is supposed to be your companion. This is supposed to be the one that you chase after, right? Romanica Wade said the same thing. Princess Lahema said the same thing. Right? Go ahead, Adawan. You got it.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
Hey, we got to stop because they're going to give it away. Wisdom is saying, how long are you going to love the strange woman? How long you going to love her when you supposed to love me?
Right.
Right? Wisdom's going out there crying, bidding people to the marriage. So this is the woman we supposed to be dealing with, but instead our people are caught up with the strange woman. Now, if you got wisdom, who you supposed to be with, and you supposed to become fruitful through her, right? You're supposed to become fruitful through wisdom. You're supposed to join yourself with wisdom, and you're supposed to become fruitful with wisdom. I want you to think about this in a carnal way too. With wisdom, I'm supposed to become fruitful with that thing, man. But with the strange woman, I bet not produce no fruit with her. So when I'm reading Revelation, who is the woman that I could be dealing with that I need to never be fruitful with? It gotta be the strange woman. But maybe we reaching, right? Let's get Revelation 17:1. Because now we're gonna start seeing some some references that's going to show you and make it obvious what Revelation is really talking about. If I asked y'all who's the big bad guy in Revelation, who would y'all say? Right? In the Christian church, we would have said the Antichrist. But y'all Israelites, y'all know the answer. Who is the bad guy in the book of Revelation? Hey, look at that. See, this brother giving away the answers, man. Stop. This brother giving away the answers, man. Right? The great whore.
That's right.
The great whore. And guess what? The whore is represented as a female for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's read it.
Time. You want to start at verse 1?
Yeah, we're going to do 1 and 2. That's all we need for this one.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Hey, you see that? So the world was made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And we know that her fornication is idolatry.
That's right.
So if you deal with that woman, you're going to be defiled. So when the scripture says those who are undefiled with women, it ain't talking about with wisdom, because the Most High wants you to be with wisdom, right, and wants you to be fruitful with wisdom. But the Most High don't want you to have no dealings, and the Most High wants you to be with your wife. Let's stop there too.
That's right.
The Most High wants you to be with your wife. How are we gonna have Israelites if y'all not having babies? Right? So the Most High wants these things to happen. He commanded Adam to be fruitful and multiply. He commanded Noah to be fruitful and multiply. Do not think that this scripture is saying, brothers, stop having sex with your wife, man. Come on. Right? Now let's jump down, because we got to get a little bit more to drive it. You're going to drive it even further home. Let's jump down to verse 15 to 18.
Verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Hold up. So there's a whore, right? The big bad guy is a whore, and it's little foul spirits living inside this whore that infect the people and cause the people to be drunk off of her fornication and follow what she's doing. I would bet that those are the spirits that could be considered the strange women. Right? I would bet I would literally call those spirits the strange woman. Any one of those spirits is the strange woman, because the Most High ain't teach me that. Right? Let's keep going.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
Hey, and all these spirits, they're gonna turn against Babylon in the final days, man. We waiting for this. Right? We pray for the prosperity of our people, and we pray, hey, we not seeking the day of the Lord, because what is it to us? Right? And we want our people to have repentance, but at the same time, we waiting. Right? We patiently waiting on this day when all these nations turn against Babylon. Right? Come on.
For Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled.
Come on.
And the woman which thou sawest is the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
You see that? So when we read about most of the things that happen in Revelation, most of them are alliterations and parables and deep and dark sayings that refer to other concepts in the Bible. So when we read about the men who are not defiled with virgin, or who are not defiled with women in their virgins, we have to put that in the context of what the larger story in Revelation is telling. And the larger story is telling us that the strange woman is Babylon and all her followers, all the people who are influenced by her and leading people to live like her. right? Let's keep going. It's another one. It's another precept to drive this home. Revelation 14 and verse 8. Right? Back in the chapter where we was just at.
Come.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
You see that? And notice this happens right after he was talking about the virgins. So he randomly just starts talking about virgins. Hey, blessed are all those who don't be defiled with virgins. And then a couple of verses later, Babylon has fallen. She was deceiving the whole world. There's a reason for that. So that's how I would understand that. I would understand that to mean that whatever that strange woman is, whatever those women are, that passage is talking about is the exact opposite of the spirit that the Most High wants you to be with. Ooh, that's an excellent precept. I was thinking about that precept. Let's get that one now that y'all pulled out. I was thinking about this precept, and this brother.
That we've been talking about that class right there.
Hey, yeah, y'all stay tuned, man. We're gonna bring out. I don't want y'all got some sources for y'all boys, man. On this class.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life.
You see that? And notice fornication, spiritual fornication, because Babylon has made the whole world to drink from the wrath of her fornication. Right? That's why he brought that out. Hey, I want to say this too, and if you got another question, we could probably go into it. But yeah, hey, I want to bring this out too. When we look at the term virgin here, the main point of that sentence is defiled. That's the main point of that sentence. And you have to ask yourself, can I be defiled in the eyes of the Most High by sleeping with my wife?
Right.
The only way to be defiled is to be dealing with an unclean spirit. That's literally the basis of being defiled in this passage right here. We're not even talking about regular, I can't go to the feast day because I slept with my wife. No, not that type of defilement. We're talking about a spiritual defilement, right? Which is why it goes into so much detail over how Babylon infected the world with her fornications, man.
Salaki.
Go ahead.
I got a precept for you on that. This is Exodus 20 and 4. This is the precept to what he's talking about. It says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters underneath the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh, the power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And that's that woman, these idol worships. That's that woman that causes us to go spiritually to the left. And the Most High is jealous of that.
That's right.
And that's why the great whore has to be judged, right? And the angels are like proclaiming the fall of the great whore and all this type of stuff. Like remember we was talking about a climax. The climax in Revelation is the battle that makes the great whore fall. And then Revelation 18 is all like, come out of her, my people, and all that type of stuff. Right?
Right.
So we got to be able to read these things in the context and understand why certain terminology is being used. I'm gonna get one more short one. Let's get one more short one. Random question. Anybody in the chat?
I'm gonna say I seen the brother Ariel dropped a couple precepts from Ezekiel.
Yeah, let's get them.
This is Ezekiel chapter 23 and verse 17. It says, and the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredom, and she was polluted with them, and her mind was alienated from them. So she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister.
That's cool. That's cool. I was reading that Ezekiel 23 too. That one's cold too.
Yeah, that's 23:17, and then he dropped another one in 37.
Yeah, 37. Yep.
Right.
You know, I got there's a whole story that coincide with everything we're saying. We get a direct example. What happened to Solomon?
Hey, that's right. Hey, what did he go after? Hey, that's right.
He went after the strange woman,
right?
And he allowed doctrine to be introduced to Israel,
right?
Yeah, that's a cut right there.
Hey, that's beautiful. That right there is a whole lesson. That's a whole breakdown. The strange woman going to Solomon, and because he physically went after a strange woman, and because he went after that strange woman, it led him to go after the other strange woman, which is the opposite of the spirit of wisdom. So we got to be careful with that. You know what I mean? If we find ourselves in a situation where, yo, I can move in wisdom, or I can do this over here, yo, pray, fast, do what you got to do, but move in wisdom. Right? I pray that we all stay strong enough to do that. Hey, look, I want to bring this out. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 12. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. She preventeth them that desire her, and making herself first known unto them. Question: what does that verse mean? What does verse 13 mean? She preventeth them that desire her. Right? Y'all tell me what that means. We got to go into the Old English a little bit. She preventeth them that desire her. Now think about what we've been talking about. We're talking about the strange woman. And what are you supposed to do with the strange woman? Stay away.
That's right.
Right? So she preventeth her. She preventeth them that desire her. If you desire wisdom, then she prevents you from dealing with the strange woman.
Preventeth them that desire her.
You see that?
Like, yeah. She prevents the strange woman to be like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't even going to regard her. It's kind of like a woman who don't want another woman dealing with her man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she see another female looking, what she do? She put her arm around her man, like, I'm gonna hold on to this man. Like, yeah, this mine's right here, right?
Hey, that's right. That's right. That's a beautiful way to put that.
Or if he turned his head like he gonna look away at her, she stops him from looking at her by not like aggressively, like, you know, like a hood female would, but you know what I'm saying, with her desirous ways, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
She might gently touch you on your shoulder, right? Or touch you on your cheek or something like that to make you turn your head towards her, and then she give you a kiss on the cheek.
Right.
You know.
Right. And what is that?
No, go ahead.
And what does that look like? As men of the Lord, we're gonna keep our face towards the wisdom of this word,
right,
and not look at those other doctrines.
That's right.
And other women. That's how she prevented us from going off,
right?
Because we're focused on her, on the wisdom of the word.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Hey, get Sirach 4 and 17. I love to bring this one out. It's one of my favorite ones to bring out. Right? And I'm gonna jump down to verse 15 to drive this point home before you read that. But verse 15, this is Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 15. To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. So, like we were just saying, whoever waits for her and desires her and seeks her, she's gonna prevent them from going off.
Right.
Because that is the perfection of wisdom. To dwell with wisdom, to dwell with the spirit that the Most High wants you to be with, and not to go off after that strange woman. Now read Sirach chapter 4.
God, this is the book of Sirach chapter 4 and verse 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws.
Come on.
Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him, and show him her secrets.
You see that? And look, wisdom, yo, this is cold. Like, if you just think about wisdom as an actual woman, this woman is proving you, man.
Right.
Right? You in the proving phase, y'all courting. And wisdom is like, yo, don't do that. You shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, I'm bouncing. And then over time, y'all become actual companions, and y'all become fruitful, and she show you her secret. What that mean? Y'all brothers know what that mean, right? We ain't got to go into it. Might be kids on here, man. Right? But she show you her secrets, and then this is how you become fruitful with wisdom.
Right.
That wisdom is a helpmeet.
Hey, that's right. It's the perfect helpmeet.
That's right.
Because it's not good that man should be alone. Kind of, let's keep going. That next verse is the kicker.
Read on in that verse.
Yeah,
Kind. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin.
See that? Because it says that wisdom will not dwell with a malicious soul.
That's right.
That's right.
So once again, we got to be moving in that spirit of, I'm gonna be undefiled and I'm gonna stay with wisdom. And you know what? Hey, sometimes you be running low on spirit, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been running a little bit low on spirit, man. Just been kind of going through the motions a little bit, going to work, coming home, and then the family got sick, and then I messed around and hurt my back the other day, man. It's like the Most High will put you through some things to make sure that you remember to come back to him. And that's why we need family members who can hit us up and check in on us and be like, hey, look, I got this precept. I want to go in real quick. And that a lot of times that will really jar me back into the spirit, because it's like, dang, I can't leave this brother hanging. I got to get this precept for him. And then I get the precept, and it start a whole study.
That's right.
Right? Hey, that's right. He make you battle tested, man. He Most High not gonna just give you the trophy. You got to earn it. Right? I'm gonna get one more. Then we're gonna close it out. Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 9. I know Adawan Yakum, y'all know where I'm going with this one. He be pulling this one out of the camp. Right? Now, this is that wisdom. We know that the law, statutes, and commandments is our wisdom. Let's jump down to verse 30.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 30. And thou spakest, saying, hear me, O Israel, and mark my words, thou seed of Jacob. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever.
Hey, let's be spiritual real quick, right? The Most High sowed wisdom in us. This is an arranged marriage. A lot of y'all be talking junk about arranged marriages. This is an arranged marriage. The Most High chose you before the foundations of the earth, and he said you're gonna be with wisdom. This is an arranged marriage. And he said, you gonna be honored in it forever. Come on.
But our fathers, which received the law, kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances. And though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine.
So your wisdom never perish. It can't perish because it's yours and it's forever. Come on.
Right? Yet they that received it perished because they kept not the thing that was sown in them.
Hey, you know what this remind me of just right now? Remember the story of Tobit and the lady who every time she tried to get married to somebody, the brother died right before they got married? This is parallel to me for some reason. This is parallel to me for some reason because the wisdom that was given to our forefathers, man, they couldn't keep it.
Right.
Time after time, they couldn't keep it. Every time they were supposed to come to the wedding chamber, you read about that in 2nd Ezra too. But every time they were supposed to come to the wedding chamber, they died, man. But now we got a golden opportunity to walk into the wedding chamber. And the only thing we got to do is just not mess up. That's it.
I got a precept for you too.
This
is Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6. Says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
That's right.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. You see, this has already been formulated, like Captain said, from the beginning. It was given to us from the beginning. But when we turn and go to these strange women spiritually, then we die.
Right.
That's right, man. It's a sad story. Hey, let's get 33 real quick. Let's finish up down here in 32 and 33.
In 2nd Ezra's?
Yeah, 2nd Ezra's 9 and 33.
Says, yet they that received it perished because they kept not the thing that was sown in them.
Jump down to 36.
For we that have received the law perish by sin, and our heart also which received it. Notwithstanding the law perish not. Notwithstanding the law perish not, but remaineth in his force.
Hey, this is the cold part about the marriage with wisdom. It's a prearranged marriage, right? You have to be married to wisdom to get to the kingdom. If you choose not to have the wisdom and you choose to go after the strange woman instead, then you will be destroyed and wisdom's still gonna go. Because wisdom guaranteed to make it to the kingdom. So this is the choice that we have, brethren, right? And sisters. This is the choice that we have, man. We have a choice to choose between life or death, to choose between wisdom and the strange woman. Hey, look, y'all stay tuned. Next week, we going into this Torah portion, man. We doing Genesis 1 and 2. We read in Genesis 1 and 2. Y'all read through that on one notebook paper. Get your precepts on the other notebook paper. Write down your questions. All right. Like I said, we're not going to do a full breakdown of Genesis 1 and 2. That's just impossible to do on a Thursday class. But we will answer questions and we will give the sense of the reading, right, before we move on to the next chapter. So all praise to the Most High.
All praises.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Hey, we love y'all. All praises. Shalom.
Slakia.
Oh,
hey,
Khan,
that Daniel.
You already know. I'm already in there. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Hey, shalom.
Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music.